Yeah, all right, it's August 10th. Welcome to another episode of Stand Tall, where we're going to read from The Art of War, an alternate translation, and then we read from the Daily Stoic. And then we try to tie East and West together in order to better ourselves and best navigate the day and the coming weeks, etc. of our lives. And it's fun. Chapter 8, verse 10 in The Art of War. Reduce the hostile chiefs by inflicting damage on them, and make trouble for them, and keep them constantly engaged. Hold out specious allurements, and make them rush to any given point. So specious allurements, I think, like specious, I think, if I remember from like second or third grade, it's like specula, like speculus is kind of like maybe one of the etymologies of it, but it's like treasures. So if you can lure them with treasures. So let's see what motive. Okay, so here we go. Therefore, what restrains competitors is harm. Yeah, so I mean, people are cautious, and we can use this like whether it's investment philosophy, or just life. You know, people are cautious when they are afraid of getting hurt. What keeps competitors busy is work. What motivates competitors is profit. So from like a modern business perspective, I mean, yeah, like you got to worry about your competition, but they're busy working and doing things as well, and then they're motivated by profit. I think the art of war from the military side, I think, is very clear. This is just kind of like a distraction mechanism. Jang Yu, put them in a vulnerable position and they will surrender on their own. Another strategy is to cause rifts in their ranks, causing harm by wearying them and putting the people out of work. Dumu says, wear enemies out by keeping them busy and not letting them rest. But you have to have done your own work before you can do this. This work means developing a strong militia, a rich nation, a harmonious society, and an orderly way of life. So I think we can at least develop an orderly way of life within ourselves and then become harmonious in the society of ourselves, a rich nation. We don't have to be rich with dollars, but a rich nation in the sense of a rich life, rich full of experiences, rich full of culture, rich full of wanting to continue to do well and all of that for yourself, your family, and everyone around you, and to progress humanity forward. Developing a strong militia for yourself. That just means developing strong health habits, strong dietary habits, strong mental habits of fortitude, and things like that. That's what I get from that one. I'm interested to hear your interpretations. So let's jump over to the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. These guys are fantastic. Go pick up a copy. I am not linking to it because I want all of the stuff to go to them directly. It's not hard to go buy a copy of this. Go support local brick and mortar bookstores too. They're still around, believe it or not, and they still need you. August 10th. Perfection is the enemy of action. I'm starting with a reflection by Epictetus. We don't abandon our pursuits because we despair of ever perfecting them. I love it. Stand tall. We're done. Okay, no. Just because you know that you'll never be perfect, you'll never reach perfection in anything. It's the whole thing about it is like that is the meaning. The meaning is the pursuit of knowing that you'll never be perfect, but just kaizen and just coming as close as possible, giving yourself breaks along the way. Psychologists speak of cognitive distortions, exaggerated thinking patterns that have a destructive impact on the life of the patient. One of the most common is known as all or nothing thinking, also referred to as splitting. I mean, I don't, not necessarily that this is what this is meaning, but this evokes kind of something that I've reflected on in the last couple of years. This was a few, like more than a year or two ago, but Stoicism got like really big there for a little bit. But like they had to be reminded, but like the people who had actually been doing actual Stoicism, that it's like don't be so stoic that you're, golly, what is it? Like you're just like so dismal, the world's gonna end, and you're just like apathetic. I forget, but it was just like you're a stoic. You're not someone who, dang man. I'm fumbling it right now, and I'm not going to edit this out, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, yes, like you're a stoic, but it's like because you accept the challenge, not you just accept the things for what they are, and you remain apathetic and you don't do anything, and you just say, oh, well, it doesn't matter anyway. A nihilist. It's like, yes, be a stoic if you want to be, but the stoics had to remind the stoic trend bandwagoners that you do get to this point of like, well, if stoicism is like this, well, then it just like it does kind of almost naturally let you jump the fence into nihilism if you're not careful and if you kind of just scratch the surface. And they were like, no, guys, like, that's not it. So cognitive distortions, exaggerated thinking patterns, destructive impact on the life of the patient, us being the patient and us being the doctors of ourselves, of living a stoic life, of trying to navigate and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. So just make sure that you are taking breaks, taking step backs to keep the broader picture in mind. You can't I know we're getting like way off topic, but like you can't just move through life 100 miles a minute and not take a break and expect to, not burn out or run out of fuel. I mean, part of the reason like vacations and time alone is so important is because it allows time for reflection and time for growth and time for recovery. I mean, just like with me starting a personal training program, it's not like because I don't know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for well over 15 years, but right now I've got a lot of other stuff going on in my life. I like thinking it as I'm paying someone else to be the voice of discipline in my head because I've got so much other voices that I just need somebody to be there, kind of like with a financial advisor or a psychologist. If you were um, exaggerated thinking patterns, right? So we can really exaggerate the outcomes of the future and the things that we're planning and give big big meaning to the little things that we're doing, and it can be destructive is what this is saying. And also the flip side of that is true is like don't let something big that you want to accomplish deter you from trying to accomplish it. um, a lot of really big things started out small. I don't know if anyone's familiar about how seeds work, but it's kind of the same thing for companies or your ideas. I mean, yeah, I don't want to go into examples, but it's kind of that, you just kind of got to feed it. And yeah, growth takes a while. Okay, so examples of this include thoughts like, if you're not with me, you're against me. So and so is all good slash bad. Because this wasn't a complete success, it is a total failure. This sort of extreme thinking is associated with depression and frustration. Well, how could it not be? Perfectionism rarely begets perfection, only disappointment. Pragmatism has no such hangups. It'll take what it can get. That's what Epictetus is reminding us. We're never going to be perfect if there is such a thing. We're human after all. Our pursuits should be aimed at progress, however little that is possible for us to make. Yes, inch by inch. By the inch, it's a cinch, and keep standing tall.